about some items we got in this week. We get interesting, odd, and unusual guns in every week. Every week there's something that comes in that we haven't seen before. This is a Renaissance high power that came in this week. Beautiful gun. I think I got the man's letter with it here. Come on. And he wanted us to sell this for him on consignment. He bought it new, paid around $1,500 for it. And I don't remember exactly when that was. A long time ago. But we're going to sell it now, and we're going to put it out there about $4,500. So that's when we talk about Browning guns being an investment. That's what we're talking about right there. They're like money in the bank. So I tell everybody when they go to buy a Browning gun, and they're expensive, yeah, that's for a reason. I say buy them while they're high, before they get higher. Excuse me. So, and we have the letter. Here's a letter I didn't happen to see with this high power. Okay. He bought it January 29th, 1990. He is the original owner of it. Got a letter from Browning. And it's an old letter. It's a type on a typewriter. Invoice number and all. I'm looking for what he paid for it. I don't see the value. $1,500. He paid $1,500 for the gun. So we're going to put it out there for about $4,500. So we've got the letter with it, and that will sell with the gun. Who knows what that gun's going to bring in 20 years? My goodness, I mean, the sky's the limit on it. We get a lot of cool and interesting things, and we bought this Browning Superposed this week from a shop out there. I got it in. I thought something looked a little unusual. As you see, these tangs are all bent up. Triggers bowed over double. We couldn't figure what in the world happened to the gun. I mean, did it get run over, or did it fall out of an airplane? What would make it do that? And talked to the guy that sold it to us. He said, no, a man inherited this gun. Someone in his family passed away, and he inherited this gun, and this is the only gun he got out of the collection, and it made him mad, and in a fit of rage, he took the gun and came down on the pavement with the stock and kept beating on it. Now, I mean, that guy has some anger management issues, I'd say. He hit that thing hard enough to bend these tangs. Didn't seem to hurt the barrels, so we bought it so we can salvage the barrels and maybe the bracket off of it. It bent the bracket up in here. I don't know if I can even salvage that, but that's just one of the interesting things we bought this week. Can you imagine that? I say that guy has some anger issues. Anger issues. We got a Auto 5 into blue this week, 20 gauge, and we have since polished it. We have it rated blue. You can see how professional that looks. The gun wasn't too bad. It didn't lose any engraving. But the interesting thing on this gun, and I see this quite often, we took the stock off of the gun, and these stocks are hollowed out. They have this hollowed area, and we found an old hunting license in this in the cavity of this stock. And over the years, I have accumulated a lot of these because I find it just kind of fascinating. I collect these. I made up a frame of a lot of them that I've collected over the years that I've dug out of these hollow cavities on these stocks. I have hunting licenses in this frame here. Here's an Iowa license, 1924, 46, states all through the Union, Illinois. Here's one from Kansas, just all over the country. Here's 1947, 48. I think these two I found in the same butt stock cavity of a gun. It's the same name. The man, when he buys hunting licenses, he'd stick them in the cavity of that stock. Here's an Alabama state hunting license, all wadded up, stuck in a cavity, 1940. Another one from Alabama County, 1928. Now, is that interesting or what? Came out of old Browning Auto 5s, most likely, or early 16 gauge standards, the old short chambered guns. And I've got so many of them here that I've got to get some more frames, and or maybe just go with one big frame. I'm not sure, but they're all old hunting licenses from all around the country. Here's one. Well, this is 1962. That's kind of recent. I was still in high school in '62, and that's from Illinois. $3.25. Oh, and I found something else in the cavity of an old early 16 gauge here a while back. It says bought September 1939. Came out of an old standard 16. $38.50 for that standard 16. And it's got, says he bought it from, looks like Wayrich Hardware in Pekin, Illinois. Now, is that cooler than who'd have thought it? Love that stuff. 1939 light. So I got to get these and get all these framed up and put away, and I'll pass these on to some of my children down the road, and hopefully they'll value them as much as I do, because they're really interesting to look at and interesting to read. Here's one that still has the has a duck stamp on it, $3 stamp. Can't tell what state this was because they kind of stuck it over the. Anyway, it's 1947. So anyway, interesting to find those in the cavity of a stock, and it's common. I see that all the time. That's just kind of what we came through this week. Can't think of anything else interesting, but there'll be more next week, and when we get some other unusual items in, we'll be back with some more stories for you.